Usually I come on here and I say every takeover has been like, oh, good takeover, good takeover, good takeover. But I gotta say, holy shit, this takeover took the cake. And I think, let's be real about it. There'll be a lot of podcasters, a lot of YouTubers coming on here later on, or as we speak. They're probably live right now as we speak, doing the reviews and what have you. And they're gonna tell you this is the best takeover. We've been hearing that for a while, but I will say right now, I can sit here with confidence right now on a Sunday, February 16, 2020, that this has been the best takeover thus far. Holy fucking shit. I said this on Twitter a couple of minutes ago. This takeover has been like the best weed I smoked, especially on a Sunday. If that makes any type of sense to anyone out there. Anyway, this is your NXT Takeover Portland review. This is also your installment of Around the Point Live here on YouTube.com. I want to thank all of you for tuning in live here on the YouTube channel. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the podcast, the video, a big old thumbs up and share it throughout your entire social media platforms, wherever it is that you share videos. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. The podcast is also available on many of the podcasting platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcast, Anchor, and as well as Spotify. So if you have these platforms, you can listen to Around the Point or on the go. As you guys heard on this past episode of Around the Point, WrestleMania season is on the way. And what better way to be swagged out in your official DorkMania T-Shirt? That's right, DorkMania is coming back. And links in the description to the Teespring store where you can buy this shirt. Available in all sizes. So that's right, come WrestleMania season, why not be swagged out in that DorkMania T-Shirt? And as well as podcast is available, but it's also sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the home of Around the Point, but it's also, in my opinion, the best way for anyone out there that want to start out a podcast. The way to go. More than anything, for the simple fact that it's free. A lot of podcasting sites out there will try to charge you money on a monthly base to do your podcast. And let's be real about it. Who the fuck out there does not love the word free? Seriously. I remember when I was a kid, my dad would always say, if it's free, it's for me. And come on. Seriously, who doesn't love free? Also, the fact that Anchor has the creation tools that will allow you to literally edit your podcast on the go, whether you're on your phone or on your computer. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had to literally go out there, like literally on the go, edit Around the Point on my iPhone with no problem whatsoever. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And literally, with Anchor, they will help you distribute your podcast for you. So you can, so it can be heard on platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, many more places out there. Anchor, again, is the way to go if you are someone that wants to start your own podcast. And as well, Around the Point is also available on okfabe.com. So if you want to listen to the podcast there as well. And I'm not alone here. I'm here joined all the way from beautiful California. He is the AEW fanboy assassin himself. I'm pretty sure he'll be going to next year's WrestleMania. The one, the only, Chase Oliver. Chase, how you been, bro?
Steven, it's good, my brother. I didn't think the next time I would jump on your show was the usual times when I jump on when our favorite promotion of all time, AEW, does a special event such as the Revolution, which is in a couple of weeks. But man, Steven, after witnessing what could easily become the show of the year, I think this is going to be a hard one to top. I know it's early in 2020, but man, this Portland card, and you know what pisses me off? I regret not going to this card. I know everyone's gonna say, "Wait, Chase, you're from California." Portland's not that bad of a drive. Like it really isn't. Like I could have gone to an airport and flown to Portland, and then I could have flown back tonight. So I wish I would have gone. It was just that my office job, they didn't decide if the the place was going to be closed for President's Day. So some offices are closed for President's Day, but
Yeah,
some
of
other
course.
offices.
Absolutely, yeah.
Huh?
Not here, yeah. President's
Yeah.
Day. I know a lot of places out there. Again, they're it's complicated. It's a holiday coming up. It's a federal holiday, so yeah, I can imagine, Chase.
Yeah, yeah. So I just like the tickets weren't that expensive either. Like it wasn't expensive. I wish I would have went because me and my friend we were actually talking about, hey, should we go to Takeover Portland? And we ended up didn't. And I wasn't feeling good this weekend, so it was kind of good that we didn't because I would have been crabby the whole time, especially flying a plane. But boy, Steven, what a card!
Indeed,
What a
absolutely, bruh. What a fucking amazing card. I mean, I hear to think about it too. Do we dare say follow that revolution?
Yeah, we have to. I mean, they're coming up next. I mean, that's the next big pay per view. Like I know Saudi Mania '82 is happening. Super Showdown '92, whatever. How many Super Showdowns out there been? Like six, seven,
I
eight? I
think
don't even
so.
know.
Well, if you want to count the one from Melbourne, then the
Well,
last
I can't.
Saudi one. So
What was the
technically,
China?
technically,
What
it's
was the
just
China?
no. Talk about the one in Australia, right?
Yeah,
That's
but wasn't there a Super Showdown in China as well? Then they have Super Showdown in China?
no, that was Beast in the East. That was in Japan
Uh,
back in
no, that was in
2015.
Japan. No, they had a China one. It was Cena and who was the dude? He was teaming up with some random fool. Oh yeah, it was Cena and Lashley, and they were teaming up to face Owens and Elias, and that's where Cena debuted the Flash Strike. Or was that the Australian show?
I think that was the Australian one.
Oh, okay. I don't know. They do too many of these weird special events that I tend to forget. But yeah, it's like I think yeah, because Revolution is like the next big card up, and then after that, like let's be real, Elimination Chamber. It's just kind of like the filling out the puzzle pieces to the next big show, which is Mania. So yeah, Revolution has big shoes to follow. I mean, they have some seeds planted, but I don't know, man. This card, you looked at it on paper, like at least for me, when I saw this takeover card, I literally said, okay, I know the tag match will deliver. I know Keith Lee and the Dijakovic will deliver. The NXT Championship, it just depends on how that goes, but that could be a good match too. But then the rest of the matches, it was kind of like, I don't know. Like you had that feeling where it's like, yeah, they could be good, but they could also be kind of eh. And I just felt all of them decided, hey, we're gonna go out there and just put on one of the best wrestling shows that we have seen in quite some time. Like not one match on this card, I don't think you can label as bad. Now, when we go through them, there may be certain aspects where you can like not like it, but I don't think this was a bad show at all. Like I don't think you can label one match on the show bad. I
Yeah,
think the worst you could give any of these matches is good, because like I feel there is so much good stuff on this show, great stuff even. So yeah,
absolutely, yeah. So I'll tell you what. Let's go through the card, all right, and give our
yes,
thoughts overall. I took some notes actually because again, podcaster that I am, taking notes and shit like that, right? So here's the thing about it, okay? What amazed me too that this was on a Sunday. I said this in my
yeah,
prediction. Usually these takeovers they're on Saturday, they're on a weekend of a big pay per view, right, for the main roster. You want to think about the last solo takeover was Takeover 25 in Connecticut, which fun little fact. Walter did go to that show. I could have gone to that show too, but I had things going on as well. Just like you for Portland, Connecticut, it really isn't that much of a drive for me either.
mhm.
But that's no here or there. So I personally feel, and I don't know about you, going down again, do you think that they should go back to Saturday coming after this, or should they, hey, you know what? Because now they are a brand, right? Yeah, we've been hearing that for years, but now it's a brand. Let's do our own solo pay per views now going forward on Sundays.
For so for what I saw a tweet. I forgot who it was from. It was a verified user. Apparently, takeovers now is going to be on Sundays as long as there's no major WWE pay per view after it. So like they will still, quote unquote piggyback off of the WWE big cards, like always have like a show the night before. But if they're going to do it on their own weekend, which I think Triple H is trying to do more often, which is good, it will be on Sunday. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's been so many years we're like conditioned to Sunday being wrestling. But I think I've liked having Saturday be like a good wrestling night because like obviously it sucks when they have to go against like a UFC or a big boxing fight, but they wouldn't schedule their card on those type of nights where it's like a huge event. And so for me, it's like, I feel like Saturdays. I think AEW has done the smart thing where they made Saturday a premiere night for them, because Saturdays I just feel like it fits a little bit better for schedules and stuff. Sunday, it's kind of rough sometimes on Sundays, especially because they start so late, especially on the East Coast. Like you guys start 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's already, what, 12 or like 10 o'clock for you guys? For me, it's only 7 o'clock. So for me, the days don't really matter. But I think I would prefer Saturdays. I think Saturdays is better overall for pay-per-views, not just NXT, but for WWE. But, they feel Sunday's prime time, so.
Absolutely, of course, absolutely. That's how they feel. That's how they feel. I personally, again, I've been accustomed to Sundays, that being main roster spot. But you know what? NXT today showed that they could definitely do their own thing on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, and especially this was shocking in a market like Portland. Not to say Portland doesn't have a big wrestling market, but Portland's like always hit or miss. Sometimes they will have good crowds, sometimes they have crowds. But for an NXT show, they showed up big time. Like that was a big time show up by the Portland crowd. Like they were loud the whole night, which I gotta give props for, because sometimes we've seen some Raw and SmackDowns where the Portland crowd has, stunk it up.
Yeah, they have that, absolutely. I totally agree with that as well. But again, big props to Portland. You guys brought it tonight. And I did hear Mauro say hopefully this is not the last time they go back to Portland, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get into the card chase. So we had 6 matches on this card. Usually takeovers are 5 matches. They went today with 6. If you want to be technical with it today, they did compete with the NBA All-Star Game. So there's that. We kick off the main card because there was no kickoff match or anything like that. We started off with could easily been the match of the night, depending on who you talk to, right?
Oh.
For the North American title, we had Keith Lee defending his championship over Dominik Dijakovic. Apparently, this was Keith Lee's first title defense, and what a way to defend this title! A lot of countering of big risk moves. There's a moment in the match where Dijakovic hits like a suplex onto the apron, and it looked like Lee landed on his head. It looked like it, right? Dijakovic, this makes the shit out of me. I don't know about you, but Dijakovic hits this corkscrew moonsault, right? For a near fall. And because again, someone of his size, you just wouldn't think they would do something like that. But then again, we've seen these guys wrestle before. We know what these guys can do, right? On the outside, Keith Lee, right? He pounced Dijakovic in the corner, right? And they proceed double chopping each other for whatever reason. They proceed chopping each other. Dijakovic hits a top rope senton, which again, someone of his size, you don't expect him to do shit like this, right? And you see Lee, he's sitting on this chair while he hits his move, whatever, right? And they continue to counter their signature moves, right? Lee hits 2 spirit bombs. I think on the second one, Dijakovic is holding the back of his neck. I thought he broke his neck for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I thought he did too, because he was holding it kind of awkward. So I was like worried, like, oh shit, did he suffer a big injury?
Yes, exactly. And then you think, okay, what else could this fucker do? He hits a top rope Spanish fly for a fucking near fall. He tried to hit the feast your eyes, right? But his back gave up on him, and Lee managed to hit the Big Bang Catastrophe for the win. In what I thought, and I wrote this on my notes in all caps, an amazing first title defense. Chase, your thoughts, bro, on this?
So I like older matches that we've seen on NXT, but I was kind of worried. I was like, we've seen this like how many times? Like, is it just over with? Are we done seeing Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic matches? Because we know what they can do with each other, and the story just really wasn't there for me. Like it was like I'll talk about like just the build up for this match. I was just like, okay, we've seen this before. I get it. I don't know why Dijakovic is the biggest threat, but hey, whatever. And then they go out there and they do what they normally do, and that's just kick ass. And I liked how they didn't like redo some of the spots that they've done in their previous matches. I liked how they were countering each other in certain spots, showing that hey, we've wrestled each other so many times, we know each other's stuff. Like, so we're able to counter and be able to get the upper hand on someone. So I really like that they decided to do that, and they really didn't like repeat some stuff. They definitely pulled out the kitchen sink for this match, and yeah, just great match between both men. And I liked how there wasn't too many finisher kickouts. Like Big Bang hit, Dijakovic and it kicked out. You know, it was just like, okay, that's it. That's all we needed, man. Like they did enough. They did enough for me to be entertained. And I literally said this is like one of those top. Like I didn't think Okada and Ibushi would get over top so soon. I thought Okada and Ibushi would be that match of the year until at least like normally Mania time. There's like one match, like whether it be at ROH or the MSG show or AEW's Double or Nothing or whatever. I thought maybe there might be a match then that would top it, but I didn't think it would get topped so early in February, especially with Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. As it stands right now, that's my match of the year.
I thought it was up there again. To me, it's up there right now. But again, I thought overall for Keith Lee's first title defense, it was amazing. These two guys went out there and they tried to steal the show. You can obviously see that. At the end of the match, they both embraced. I was expecting a heel turn for whatever reason. I was expecting that, but that didn't even happen either. But again, a good way to kick off the show in an amazing way, right? Usually, right, you expect it to be the way to kick off the show. Like, okay, fine, a good way. But this just blew. I think, honestly, this was probably the best opening match to a takeover. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it definitely set the tone where it was like, hey, guys, you guys really want to have a good show tonight? This is what you got to compete with, man. And that's what an opening match should do. Not where it's like, you know, yes, it could steal the show, but we also need it to be how I should say. We also need it to be where it's like one of those matches where it's like, hey, remember, like you can easily go back and watch the pay-per-view, and that's like you're excited that that's the first match. You're just like, oh, great, I get to watch this again. Like that's what an opener should do. And I think they kicked off the show with the right match. Like got the crowd hyped up and made the crowd excited. I felt the only other match that could have opened up the card was the tag title match. And when they chose this match, I was like, okay, that's good. That's perfect. People have already seen this match a bunch of times already too. So it was fine that they chose this match to be the opening match.
Exactly. Absolutely. From there, we move on to what I thought honestly would have opened the show. For whatever reason, I thought this would open the show, but it did not with the second match on the...
I don't know, because it has a video package towards it, so I didn't think they would open the show with this one.
Fair enough, too. Fair enough. But it's the first ever women's street fight here. We have Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai. It opened up with a good video package, telling you the story about these two women, how they were friends, how they rehabbed together at the PC, how at War Games, Dakota Kai shocked everyone and all that stuff. I didn't know. Because again, I don't watch that much NXT like I used to because of my schedule and shit like that. And the fact that now we have two shows to watch live on Wednesday and I just choose to watch the other one over this. But that's nor here or there. I did not know that Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai had a match. I thought this was the first time they went at it, right? They waited this long, all this time for this, right? But no, they had a match before where I think Tegan won. So, but again, this was the first women's street fight, right? At NXT. Tegan came out to the ring. As she was coming up, Dakota attacked her from behind. The crowd, for whatever reason, I guess they were dead at first for this, and then it really picked up near the end, especially, right? Tegan hit a German suplex onto a trash can, right, for a near fall on Dakota Kai. There's a moment where Tegan pulls out a fucking cricket paddle, which again I get. They're both from New Zealand, Australia, and
I think that was Dakota Kai who pulled it out.
Okay, Dakota Kai.
She pulled it out.
Yeah, there you go. Nox gets momentum, right? Because again, Dakota Kai, for whatever reason, decided to tie up Nox's wrist onto the ring post. It starts kicking her, right? Nox gets momentum again, right? It starts working on Kai's injured knee. And then hits what I thought was like the craziest Shining Wizard I saw. Again, granted, she's none of
I thought for sure that they were trying to go for a double turn after I saw what she did. And especially when she said, I'm not finished with you, but then the crowd was still cheering for her. Yeah. So, yeah, you continue what you were saying. But, yeah, that Shining Wizard, that was the best Shining Wizard. Because normally, Shining Wizards, people hit it and you don't hear the smack.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was like a you just heard that.
It felt like a bullet. It felt like a bullet almost. Like, holy shit. It was a moment near the end. Let's get to the end, right? And this is where a lot of people kind of like, it was a good match. You were picking up momentum, and then the ending happens. Like, Knox was about to dive right onto a table, right? And Dakota Kai's, I guess her head was in between a chair at the same time, and you hear Mauro pleading, "Please stop this! Don't do it!" Right? And out of nowhere, Raquel Gonzalez, who we all know as Reina Gonzalez from the Mae Young Classic and then also in NXT, right, attacks Knox, right, and throws her onto the table, but the table doesn't break. It did not break at all, to which allowed Dakota Kai to pin for the win. So there was that. Honestly, again, to me, the match picked up near the end. Both women obviously being the shit out of each other, but the ending was dry for me. It was.
I felt the ending really hurt this match. It was still a good match, but yeah, that ending, that was like blatant butcher shit right there. Like Beth Phoenix, bless her heart, she tried to sell the fact that Raquel Gonzalez was there. She's like, "Oh my God, it's Raquel Gonzalez." I was like, I bless your heart, bless Phoenix. You try. This is why they pay you the big bucks, man, because you tried your damnedest. No one in that arena cared. Like, they literally were giving her the Tito Ortiz treatment of what the hell is this? Like, that was terrible.
Facts,
but the match was really good. I'm not familiar with Tegan Knox. I'm sorry. I haven't watched all the greatest Tegan Knox classics. I've maybe seen one or two matches with her, and I never felt impressed with her. Dakota Kai I know is good. I think Dakota Kai is a really solid talent. She's still not like NXT women or NXT champion material yet. Remember, Steven, they removed the word women from the belt, I think. But so I'm going to
apparently he's back. Is the word women?
Back? Okay, I don't have to be sensitive about it. The NXT Women's Championship. She's not there yet, but she's definitely someone that is going to be a good hand for NXT or for whatever roster she ends up years down the line. But this Tegan Knox, she won me over. She was great tonight. I thought she was very, very good. The match was a good story of two best, and this is why I would never want to have a match with my best friend if we were in wrestling, because you trust them so much you would do the most stupidest shit against each other. And these women, they were just like, "Hey, we're best friends in real life. I trust you. You trust me. Let's do whatever the hell we want to each other." And it showed. It was a really good match between them. Tegan Knox won me over too. I think she has something going down the line. Like, I felt both women did great in this match, and it told the simple story of Tegan Knox. She went too far. She let the rage and the anger get the best of her instead of being like, and that's always the babyface story they always try to tell. And it's a good story, and it works every time because people know what it's like when you're in a heated rivalry with someone. Sometimes you let jealousy and anger get the best of you. Everyone has that happen to them as humans. We're humans for a reason. But yeah, that ending, it really like sours the match a little bit. Like, it's like this was a great match and it just went to good because that ending was just kind of like we didn't need it. Like, I would have rather had Tegan Knox. I would have rather had Dakota Kai pull like a Matt Hardy and shit, and she's like crying for Tegan Knox to do it, and then Tegan Knox come to her senses, and then Dakota Kai just like kick her in the you know what I mean? Legally kick her. Yeah, legally kick her. And do something dirty afterwards and then pin her and stuff like that. Like, that would have been much better than freaking Raquel Gonzalez coming out for no reason and a line. And I don't think Dakota Kai needs a heater. That's another thing, too. I don't think she needs a heater. Like, do you think she needs like a Tyson Tomko? Like, I don't think she does, man. I think she just needs to be herself.
I think what it is right now, again, they're just experimenting right now to see what happens. Will this last? I don't think so. Like, if they're to hit the main roster tomorrow, right, hypothetically speaking, of course, I don't think they're going to be going together.
Well, Raquel Gonzalez is going to have she's the new Tamina, if that's the case, man. Yeah. She's just going to be like Tamina. Yeah. They're going to be like, wait, she's still on the roster?
Yeah. I'm reading the comments here. Renee all writes here, the table didn't break, but the impact was brutal and horrific, and it still did the job knocking her out realistically. The way she hit her head on the table made just an impact as breaking it. 10 out of 10 pay-per-view. All right, fair enough by Renee. Oh, that's one thing too, bro. Throughout the entire show, I felt like they really reinforced these tables.
No, I know, right? Like even the announce tables weren't
Yeah,
breaking.
yeah,
Normally those things break like when you touch them. Like they were
exactly,
saying, like it was
absolutely,
like they were like all the Randy Orton tables. Remember back in the day when Randy Orton would try to RKO someone and the table would never break? I bet you
facts.
Randy Orton, if he was watching this pay per view, I don't know. Randy Orton, he might have been doing a Call of Duty stream drunk like he normally does.
Yeah,
He probably was trying to do an R. He probably would if he was watching this being pissed off and yelling stupid as those tables want to break.
stupid. Yeah, facts. Yeah. Then we get on to what people were calling the dream match, believe it or not. Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor. Are we still calling him Finn Balor, Chase?
No, no, he on NXT he's Finn Balor. He's legit in NXT. Steven, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but NXT Finn Balor is what I want out of Finn Balor. Whatever this smiling goof that was in WWE, the main roster, that dude stunk. Like that was terrible, man. Like because Finn Balor, when he was on the main roster, come out, pop his stupid collar, say yahoo, acted like he was badass, just smiling the whole time. And the only way people could ever give a crap about the guy is if he put on some paint, and all of a sudden he was a magical wizard. Now it's like, okay, he could bring out the demon if he wanted to, but he doesn't really need it.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't need
the
to no more. I feel like
yeah,
it's like
like
he. It's. Oh, I'm sorry, Chase. Go on, go on. I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
like I was just gonna say, this is good. Like he doesn't need to rely on the whole "I need the demon" shtick, because that was the problem with WWE Finn Balor. It was kind of like our main roster Balor, as we should call him, because WWE and NXT are the same thing. But Balor on the main roster, it was kind of like, hey, I need the paint. The paint is what helps me. This Finn Balor, the NXT version, he doesn't need the paint. If he brings up the demon, it could be for a real serious occasion. They're really making it where it's just like, hey, this guy can get the job done no matter what, and I'm really liking it. His promos are still but he's feeling more like the New Japan version of what he should have been the whole time. Like the 2.0 NXT run for Finn Balor, 2 thumbs up for me. He needs to be the world champion. He makes Adam Cole look like a joke.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. To me, and just like you, like I said also in my notes, like, yo, he just feels like a big deal. You know what I mean? He feels like, okay, badass. He feels like a badass here. You know what I mean? They're calling him the Prince. I don't know if you caught that or not. They kept calling him the Prince, the Prince. Both men they're working on hold, like a lot of chain wrestling to start this match, right? Gargano countered multiple 1916 DDTs, right? After crazy back and forth, right? Gargano does a drop kick off the Balor, right? Does a crazy drop kick off the announcer's table onto Gargano, right? They hit the coup de grace, then a 1916 DT for the win, right? And again, this will to me was this a good match? Yes, it was. Was it like the oh my god, the almighty match? No. It told a good story, right? Here's Finn Balor, right? Who at one time was NXT, was that brand, right? Versus Gargano, who many people look at as the face of NXT, the embodiment, and all that stuff, right? And they went out, they had a fun match. I look forward to the rematch down the road, if they even have it. I say this also, and again, this is just me, of course, I'm just throwing it out there, based on what we saw tonight at the end of the match, at the end of TakeOver and all that stuff, right? It was announced that on April 25th, the NXT UK has a takeover in Dublin, right? In Ireland. What
Mm-hmm.
if, I'm just throwing it out there, Finn Balor goes to NXT UK and challenges Walter for the NXT UK title?
But that is if Walter's still champion. You
If
think
he
he's
is,
still?
of course, absolutely. If he's still champion, what do you think?
But I'd be fine with it, yeah. Because like I was even thinking in my head, like I'm sorry, I forgot. The NXT UK champion, her name is Kaylee Ray. This is how you know I don't watch NXT UK. Unless Tyler Bates, the new best bout machine, is wrestling. All right, that him and who's the other guy, our cruiserweight champ, Jordan Devlin. I like
Jordan.
those two. And I like Walter too, but I don't follow NXT Takeover UK or NXT UK to the T.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. But there's people there that I do like Tyler Bay, Trent Seven, Kaylee Ray, Jordan Devlin,
And
Mastiff. Yeah,
that's the women's champion, Kaylee Ray. She's the women's champion, correct?
yeah. I think she still is. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't mind if they did Becky versus her on the card. I mean, sure, if Becky wins the belt, I don't think it hurts it at all. To be honest, she could always lose it in some weird fashion or something, or just relinquish it, type of deal. But I would, or maybe they just don't even do it with the belt on the line. It's just a fun little match between them because I feel like you got to get Becky Lynch on that card, right? Like you can't just have a Dublin show and Becky Lynch is not there. Like I think that's stupid, at least in my personal opinion. But yeah, I'd be down for Finn versus Walter. I think it'd be a good match. I think Balor might be NXT champion at that time too, so maybe they could do some champion versus champion shenanigans type of thing. So yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough on that. We then move on. By the way, to Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Title. Um, from the opening bell, the crowd was divided, right? Bianca Belair came out to again paying homage to Black History Month. I saw tweets like, "Oh, they made a mistake." Here's the thing about it, right? I feel like again, both women here, they were taking it to one another, right? Good back and forth action here, right? But for whatever reason, I always feel like these Rhea Ripley matches they come up short. They come up short, as in like they just feel like a short match, and
I I,
just
I think Rhea Ripley is still trying to learn. Like she's not super polished yet. Like I think everyone can agree she's a good talent. She has a great future. Like I think if anyone says Rhea Ripley doesn't have a great future, it's kind of like in the NBA. Once someone comes up to me and says, "Yeah, Jason Tatum, I don't think he's going to be good at basketball." I stop talking to you. I go, "Okay, you don't know what you're talking about." That's how it is with Rhea Ripley. If I hear someone ever say, "Yeah, Rhea Ripley, yeah, she's overrated. There's nothing special about her." I'm not the biggest Ripley fan, but I think she's really good. Like I think she has a chance to be, one of the big faces for WWE. But it's like when I hear people say dumb statements like she's overrated or not that good, that's just ridiculous. She's just not polished yet. She's still young. Like her move set is not all there. She's still learning. She like what helped her was that she had matches with like Shayna Baszler and stuff. But yeah, I do agree, Steven. Sometimes her matches don't feel um like most NXT women takeover matches, classics, where they go long, there's some extra added drama. It just feels like a Triple H match. Like,
like a
hey, let's just
television
go.
match, a match on
Yeah,
TV, basically. Yeah.
yeah, just go out there, do our stuff, get your heel heat. I'll come back with the double A spine buster, kick wham pedigree. It's all about the game. Like that's how it feels like with Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. And again, for what it was worth, it was an okay match. Nothing to go crazy about. Holy crap, right? Again, Rhea wins with the riptide. Try saying that shit 3 times. Uh, as the match ends, Charlotte Flair comes out through the crowd, attacks Rhea. The crowd goes insane. Oh my God, it's Charlotte Flair, it's the queen, this and that, right? La Ingobernable, that's what I call her here. La Ingobernable, right? She grabs the mic and says that she will see her at WrestleMania. So there we go. We finally have it. Rhea Ripley defending her NXT Women's Championship versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Finally, people can get their wish. A NXT Championship match being defended on the grandest stage at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now, when all that happened, right, you see Charlotte holding up the title, puts it back down, she's leaving the ring, and then she goes on to attack Bianca Belair. Again, remember a couple weeks ago, there was that double team that both Rhea and Bianca did on Charlotte. So there you go, Charlotte got her revenge. So the Queen is back in NXT. I gotta believe that's the case, right? You gotta think now that she's challenging Rhea Ripley that Charlotte's now moving to NXT. Right, you got to just
Yeah.
until we get to WrestleMania. I mean, just like I guess she'll be doing also a Finn Balor type of thing, where she won't be on the main roster, right? You got to believe as well. Maybe Shayna, not Shayna, Rhea Ripley goes to Raw as well. I don't know. How would you go about this?
I think that it's just more of like they really want NXT to feel as big as both shows and stuff. And obviously, Survivor Series didn't work as they planned because they had NXT blow out the main roster and made it seem like there was such a big deal, and it didn't really help the ratings all so much. But it's like what I always say about NXT. You know what you're getting with NXT. AEW, there's still so much. It's even though the AEW's had their flaws as well. AEW decided that at the new year we're going to reset ourselves, and they've been doing what they should have been doing in the beginning, focusing more on making the elite look good, Chris Jericho look good, Moxley look good, and then everyone else, they'll get there when they get their type of deal. That's what AEW decided to do, and it's been working because people have been more interested in their shows. NXT, on the other hand, they've been the same. Undisputed Era loses a big match. They come out the next week on NXT. We're the most dominant faction in WWE history. It's like, you guys lose every big match. A lot of times the champions don't wrestle the same night. Let's just go ahead and throw a championship match on the card, and that'll be a great 30-minute match. But then afterwards, here's Tyra Valkyrie versus Michelle Waterson, and it's like, I know I named two different people. One's in the UFC, one's the former Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion. But you get the idea. It's like, who are these people? I don't know who they are. There's no build up for any of these people, And it's just like a bunch of random wrestling on NXT. And a lot of the matches that you see on NXT, let's just be real, they don't translate to the takeovers. They're not like, hey, let's translate this to the takeovers. The only thing NXT has superior over AEW is the women's division. Other than that, AEW, it's like, hey, they have a good tag division, even though the Lucha Brothers always are just freaking losers. I don't understand that. And at least their main event scene is a little bit better. It's like Jericho's a good champion. You got Moxley. He's doing some weird pirate shit. Cody and MJF, a lot of people are labeling that as feud of the year so far. And so I feel like this is a move to make it where it's like, hey, we're actually serious. Like, NXT is not the developmental brand. And I think that's still the stigma about NXT. And especially when people are comparing AEW to NXT, where NXT is that developmental brand, where it's like, hey, it's still the developmental brand. Whether, it's the AEW executive VP saying that, or just some casual or some hardcore fan on Twitter, people still look at it as that way. It still has that feeling. So I really do feel like, there's an effort. And yes, it is to beat AEW. Like, it would be stupid if you're not trying to become better than your competition. But they did their best. They tried to make NXT a big thing after Survivor Series. That flopped. So now they're hoping by sending a Charlotte down there, who they invested a lot of time and money in. Like, this woman has become like how many times? 10 times? Huh?
She's like their Roman Reigns right now, basically.
Yeah, dude, she's the golden child. She is the person that, like I always say, golden children rule. She's the number one golden child. She's one of the top talents at WrestleMania. Remember, Steven, the WrestleMania 30, God, I'm drawing a blank on the 30 number. The number 31. Was it the event you went to, right? 32?
35.
The triple threat?
Yeah, but there's two of them. There's two of them.
No, but the one I'm talking about, the one you went with Connor, the main one.
Yeah, 32.
Was that 32?
Yeah, it was 32.
Where it was Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky,
yes,
right?
32, yeah.
Remember, how many people were choosing Sasha for that match? Everyone was like, oh, Sasha's going to win. Sasha's going to win. And I was like the only one that was choosing Charlotte. And guess what? Who won?
Charlotte Flair, yeah.
Look at her WrestleMania history. Heck, Asuka was coming in white hot with the streak. And then Charlotte was the one to beat that streak, where many people were long-term booking and saying, oh, yeah, Asuka versus Ronda Rousey, streak versus streak type of gimmick, Like, people were long-term booking for that match. And instead, we had Charlotte beating the streak of Asuka. Charlotte is the golden child. They put so much investment and so much time in her. And you know what? I can say this is because she does bring mainstream presence, man. My friends, they love Charlotte. I know the IWC and stuff hate her, but a lot of the people, that casuals that watch it, they are just amazed by her. My one friend, she barely watches wrestling. Like, she only watches it because I watch it. And we were watching an event together, and Charlotte's music, and she saw Charlotte. This is the first time seeing Charlotte. She saw her and said, wow. And I was like, what? She's like, that woman right there is amazing. And I was like, why do you say that? And she's like, the way she's walking, don't you see how she carries herself? And Becky was in the ring. And she said, the other person calls herself the man, but that right there, that's the man. Like my friend, she said that Charlotte is the man. Becky calls herself the man, but Charlotte is the man. I'm stealing that from my friend. That's true. And so when you put Charlotte and you put Charlotte down in NXT, it does make NXT feel a little bit bigger. But it's not really helping that much rating rise because here's the thing. Everyone already knows NXT's women's division is better than AEW. Like, you can't compete. Nyla Rose can't compete to this. You know what I'm saying? The Chris Stratland can't compete with this. Riho definitely can't compete with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this right here, it's a good move because you're solidifying Rhea Ripley as a huge star by her facing Charlotte. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is still making the women's division strong and not helping anything else around it. Because I guarantee if you go by the quarter segments, like ratings by segment, I guarantee the highest rated segments will be Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, but everything else around it will be kind of disappointing. And you can't have kind of disappointing.
Facts. And before we go any further, Charlotte did posted this literally an hour ago on her Instagram, and it quotes a picture of her with the NXT Women's title, saying, "quote Everything I do is history. Bringing the NXT Women's title to WrestleMania. Hashtag We Built NXT."
And remember, she was the second NXT Women's Champion. Paige is the first, right?
Yeah, Paige is the first. Charlotte the second. I feel like Charlotte was like the legitimate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, Paige held it. She was the first one, great. But I feel like if we look at the history of the champions, I feel like Charlotte solidified it. Yeah, Asuka had that long run of being undefeated, all you want as well. But I feel like, if you think about it, Charlotte and Asuka were like the standard, right? The standard bearer of that title, if you will.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of weird too, because like when Paige won it, people forget Paige like disappeared for a good minute. Like there was a good minute where Paige was just gone, where it was just like, where the hell is Paige? You know?
Exactly. Absolutely. Moving on here again. Now, bold prediction: do you think if the match happens at WrestleMania tomorrow, right? If tomorrow's WrestleMania, who wins?
Charlotte. I'm not choosing against Charlotte. I don't care. Rhea Ripley's on this run. But I would have a saying, children, Steven, golden children rule. I never doubt Charlotte. I don't care what match it is. Steven, how many times have people always gone against the grain with Charlotte? And then when I say, no, Charlotte's going to win this match, and I get into arguments with people, how many streams have we been in, Steven, where someone tries to argue me about Charlotte, and then I say, no, Charlotte's winning. And then they say, oh, blah, blah, blah. Remember, Steven, how many streams have we been in where everyone chooses against Charlotte? I choose Charlotte. We get into arguments. And then what happens? What happens, Steven?
LOL, Charlotte wins.
Exactly. Like, think about it, WrestleMania 32. Everyone choosing Sasha. I said Charlotte. The Hell in a Cell match. Oh, how many people were choosing Charlotte? Just me, myself, and I. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was circling. This was Sasha's day. Had a dream, I had a made it. They were about to do the Sasha Banks dance, the Sasha Banks hip pose. Get some Sasha Banks glasses. Get the Sasha Banks legit boss brass knuckles. Do her little And guess what? Charlotte wins. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
So, yeah. Absolutely.
This is my brutality. Oh, this is all nature, baby. This is the nature girl. Woo!
Exactly.
I would think this, man. As someone, and I know people are gonna say I'm crazy with this statement. I don't care. I love Charlotte, man. Like I love Charlotte. Like, I think she is one of the most dominant women ever. And I just love her. Like, and I get it. People hate her. They get annoyed that she gets pushed too much. I'm just a huge fan of Charlotte, man. It always makes me happy. And I don't force my shit on my friends. Well, where my friends at, my friend was actually shocked. Well, because we were watching the pay-per-view one time, and he said, "Hey, Chase, who's your favorite women's wrestler?" I don't think I ever asked you this. I'm like, "Oh, I like Charlotte." And he literally looked at me like, "What? You like Charlotte?" And I was like, yeah, right. That bad thing. He's like, oh no, I always thought you hated Charlotte. I'm like, oh hell no, I love Charlotte. Because he
Facts.
always thought I hated Charlotte because I made the Golden Children Rules joke. And I was like, no, man, like, I just make the joke on YouTube, but I'm a huge fan of her work. She's really good at what she does, and I can't hate on her talent. But man, this is like Charlotte's gonna be one of those wrestlers further down the line in her career, people are going to finally appreciate what they have. Like they're going to sit there, they're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, she was over pushed and shoved down our throats, but at least she was good at it. Like at least she was a really good talent. It wasn't like she was put over pushed and over shoved down our throats and she sucked. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's move on. Okay, we have two more matches left on this card. Two more matches. Again, flew by real quick. We have the Undisputed Era of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish defending their NXT Tag Team titles versus the winners of the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic of the Broserweights of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. So Chase, how many fish can Bobby Fish fry if Bobby could fry a fish?
I don't know, man.
Apparently, it's a
maybe
T-shirt. Apparently, it's a shirt now. Apparently, um,
that shirt's gonna sound fast. Like that's a funny shirt. Like I'll give it that. I'm not really big into sometimes when they make these one-off shirts, but that's a good shirt. Like
yeah,
that's definitely a shirt. Like I could definitely see Bobby Fish on Instagram when he's posting out his workout clips. He already has that shirt. Like Bobby Fish saw that shirt. He was laughing backstage and he said, "Hey, make sure you save me a pair." And he has two pairs of those shirts, guaranteed.
he's already cut off the sleeves, ready to go to the gym.
Sleeves cut off and everything. Yeah, man. We're gonna see it like all the undisputed. Everyone has that shirt. Like that's definitely a popular shirt. I think it will definitely be one of those like you go on WWE Shop, you try to order it, and WWE Shop says this will be back ordered until March 3rd. It's like why the fuck so long, WWE Shop? You get the idea.
And here I am thinking, oh my god, I thought Matt Riddle was getting punished. Here I thought that, but no.
Dude, why did okay? So this match was really good. But why is that like Matt Riddle has this heat? I don't know anything about it. I just know people like apparently from all the sources in the world, Matt Riddle is a heat magnet. Like no one likes him. So I was afraid when Pete Dunne was with him because I really do like Pete Dunne. Like he's another wrestler. When people ask me, "Oh, do you like Pete Dunne?" and I say yes, a lot of people get surprised because they're like, "Oh, we don't think you like Pete Dunne." Reminds me of like old school ROH type of wrestling. He's not the most flashiest guy in the world, but he gets his stuff done. He's very technical when he needs to be.
He's like a Nigel. He's like in his prime Nigel almost.
Yeah, he's Nigel with the little pot belly. He just needs to do some sit-ups. That's all I asked for. But I was afraid that Pete Dunne was in hot water too because he was stuck with Riddle. So I was like, oh no, is Pete Dunne at me? Like, what did Pete Dunne do? Like, I was so scared that Pete Dunne was in trouble or something. But, for Matt Riddle having all this heat, Steven, people seem to work well with him. Because normally when people have heat, remember when The Miz had heat, people would always stiff him every once in a while, and they wouldn't sell any of his shitty moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle, people like working with him, so I don't know where this heat rumor comes from. I think maybe Matt Riddle is hated by the writers, but the wrestlers, they don't give a fuck about him. They're just like, yeah, he just does his own thing.
Facts, absolutely. I thought again this match was good as well. It really picked up at the end with all like the near falls and the miscommunications, right? Because both teams had miscommunications, right? Especially near the end when when Riddle speared Dunne unintentionally, right? And it looked like they about to hit chasing the dragon for a near fall, and then eventually again when it's all said and done, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle hit their tag team double team move that I forgot already. But they got the win. And they are now the new tag team champion. And again, I did watch their little vignettes that they did on their way to Portland. I thought they were funny as shit. And now that they're tag team champions, it's like now they're champs, yo, we need more of that.
Oh, I know. That shit was hilarious. Like Pete Dunne driving on the wrong side of the road and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh man.
And now they're champions, like we need more of that. We need more.
Yeah. Yeah, it does hit one of my pet peeves, Steven. As you know, I don't like when WWE forces two people together and then they beat the established team out of nowhere and stuff. But that's always a big pet peeve of mine. I don't care if I like the team or not and whatnot. It's just always like does it have to be the first match where they win the titles? Can it be where it's like maybe match number 2 or 3? So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see another match between these two teams, and maybe it'll be like a ladder match or something. So
Yeah,
yeah, good stuff.
basically, yeah, maybe do the rematch it before Takeover WrestleMania weekend. Because again, the NXT is live now, so you could probably drop the belt on television if you wanted to as well. But there's that. If you think about this too, they mentioned the fact that a couple years, 2 years ago or so, Pete Dunne was in the finale of the finale of the Dusty Classic, and then got law because Roddy turned his back on him and shit like that. A reminder: this coming Wednesday is Roderick Strong, Chase's favorite wrestler, versus Velveteen Dream. So there you go. Yeah.
Can you still believe, Steven, they had Roderick Strong beat AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura? That is still the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, dude.
I remember you were going crazy. You were marking out.
And I was not marking out. I was pissed.
Yeah, I know you were. I know.
I was pissed. I left the Skype call. Remember how pissed I was? I left the Skype call. I was like, I'm done with the show.
I remember that. You were pissed up.
I was so fucking pissed. I've never been more pissed in my life. Seeing Roderick Strong beat. That was the most stupid booking I've ever seen. Like, that was worse than Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump on Raw.
Yeah, you were as pissed as MMA fans were a couple weeks ago when Dominic Rey had lost to John Jones.
Well, you know what, Steven? I gotta plead. I not plead the fifth. I gotta give my thoughts on that real quick. You got to win in the championship round. You can't just be getting your ass kicked. Exactly. But here's the thing: this is just like Johnny Hendricks versus GSP. You got to finish the champ. You can't just expect like people like that fight to this day. I remember I went back to watch that fight, and I still can't believe people were like upset that GSP won. Like, I remember saying, "Hey, I thought GSP won that fight." I thought Jones, Jones 245. To be honest, man, like. He won that fight to me. Reyes like 1-3, but let's be real here. In the championship rounds,
they mattered more. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
absolutely, he did. Now let's get on to the main event. The main event, again, it's a toss-up between this and the opening match, really, right? What was the match of the night? Adam Cole defending his NXT Championship versus Tommaso Ciampa. And it's funny because Cole comes out to the ring, right? He gets in the middle of the ring. This is Adam Cole, baby, right? And Ciampa's behind him. And he's like giving him the stare, like the fear of God look. He's literally staring a hole through Adam Cole. The same look he gave him in the Lead Up to Survivor Series, right? When they were invading the main roster. All this leading up finally to this match, right? And this was just fucking insane. Just fucking insane, bro. Cole hit a wheelbarrow suplex onto Ciampa onto the announcer's table, and Ciampa lands on his back. And they're referencing the fact that, again, Ciampa had surgery on his neck, and he might have hurt his neck again, stuff like that. Ciampa at one again. Then Ciampa hits a top rope air raid crash for a crazy near fall. Even the Project Ciampa for a near fall, right? Again, both men here were beating the fuck out of each other. The crowd is chanting "Fight Forever," obviously. Again, we hear that a lot now in wrestling. Fight forever. But people got to work Monday morning and shit. Cole went for a tope suicida, which he never does. They reference that too in commentary. Like, Cole never does a move like this, right? It gets countered by Ciampa's knee in midair. Cole went for the last shot, which usually ends the match for Cole, but Ciampa rolls to the bottom rope once he gets hit by it, right? Cole went for a Panama Sunrise onto the outside on Ciampa just to counter it for a fairy tale ending, which got a near fall, right? A sick near fall. Good sequences here. This is like a crazy sick sequence, by the way. The UE shows up, that being the Undisputed Era. They show up. The ref gets taken out. Both men hit low blows on one another. Ciampa hits a fairy tale ending, but there's no referee, right? Something got to give here. You see Gargano at ringside, and Ciampa's trying to grab the belt, but Gargano stops him from doing it. He grabs the belt, and he's staring at it, right? He's staring. Keep this in mind, Gargano's wearing the DIY shirt. And keep this in mind, Gargano lost to Finn Balor, right? Early on in the night, and then he just lays out Ciampa with the belt. allowing Cole to get the
Oh.
pin for the 1-2-3. Adam Cole retains, and now Johnny Gargano is now a heel. And I said this a long time ago. You know, when DIY first when DIY first broke up, yeah, Ciampa was the heel, Gargano was the face, right? Gargano obviously at the time, and still for a lot of people is like the Daniel Bryan of NXT, right? And I said this as well, like low key, I think Gargano's heel work is very underrated. I know he was a heel in Evolve and Dragon Gate back in the day. I remember WrestleMania weekend 2013 when he turned, like when he attacked, like, I think it was Shima, he attacked, like he low blowed him and shit. And there's a video on YouTube, right, when he turned heel and shit. Again, amazing done. It was done amazing, right? So for a lot of people that are wondering, oh, why turn Johnny heel? Again, give it a chance. Let this shit marinate.
Well, he was already kind of a heel. I liked his little heel stuff with Alistair. Alistair Black. He had a little heel run
To
with that.
me, okay, you know what that reminded me of, honestly? Okay, you watched Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Obviously, you watched
Watch what?
You watched Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Back in the day?
Oh, I thought you said like something random. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh. What? Like that was like Kaiba.
No.
The future.
It's like when Yugi, like he took the seal of Orichalcos in that one episode, right? And the pharaoh was possessed by it. That's what Gargano reminded me when he was feuding with Aleister Black. Right?
He was just the Steel Warrior Calcos possessed.
Consumed him, and then he lost. And then he lost, obviously. After he lost, he's a good guy again and shit like that. That's what it reminded me of almost. But now here he is. Now it looks like a full-fledged heel, obviously. And here we go again. It's Gargano and Ciampa at it again. Now the roles are reversed. Interesting.
Yeah, I like the match itself. Good, really good match. The finisher fest, kick out Steens. Adam Cole needs to stop with this, man. Like this is getting a pet peeve. Like I get it. He needs every match to feel epic, but then it's not going to feel epic when Keith Lee hits his one big bang shot, and that's it for Adam Cole. Like he kicks out of everything. Like it's just annoying sometimes. But it's still a really good match. They did a good job telling the story with Ciampa's neck. But I liked the Gargano turn. I actually liked it. I wanted to maybe in the minority here with that one.
I liked it too.
I liked it because he grabbed the belt, and at first I felt he was going to be like, "You don't need the belt to cheat to win." I thought he was going to pull like "You're better than this" type of thing, and then Ciampa was going to go ahead and hit like the knee, and then go ahead fairy tale ending 1, 2, 3 new champ, yay! The two hug each other, DIY are happy together, but then afterwards, when Gargano looked like he was about to get that little "you don't need the belt" speech, he went boom and just hit him with the title. I was like, holy shit. And then the pin happened. I was like, oh, man. But, yeah, no, Ciampa and Gargano, that's the new Shawn Michaels Triple H, man. It's never going to fucking end, dude.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, Shawn, like, get that Saliva song ready. I posted this song like 8 times on Twitter because I love this song. But they need that always.
I just can't. I was there. That's the virus result too. I was there for that show. I was there.
I hate you. I just need that. Like they just need that fucking song, man. Like just play that song for their feud. I don't ask for anything else. If you want to go, I know you can't use Enemy because Chris Jericho's now the Enemy, but at least use Always because that song I always remember that one, man. It's always. I just can't live without you. I love you. I hate you. I just can't live without you. Like, that's a great song. But yeah, overall, really, really good stuff for Takeover Portland. It could go down as the best takeover in NXT history, to be honest here. I know there's a lot of takeovers people love. The one where Samoa Joe debuted, was that Our Evolution or something like that? I don't remember. No, Our Evolution was Sandy versus whatever his name is. But you get the one where Samoa Joe debuts, that's always a good one. The Takeover DN. Remember when everyone thought NXT was going to die and because the Takeover was called the end? That's another good takeover. Takeover Dallas is always up there too.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, that's another good. What was the main event? Was that Joe versus Balor as well?
Joe versus Balor. Yeah, Joe versus Balor. Rules in the crowd. Another one, and again, you're right. It was a good takeover. And really, I was surprised because I was expecting. When I said my prediction, okay, Ciampa wins, and then as he's celebrating, You hear TikTok, Killer Cross would have came out, and
I think it's too soon for Killer Cross. Like I just feel like so many fans don't know who the hell he is. You know, like I'm just being dead honest here.
I know that,
Like,
that too. But what brought me by surprise, well, and again, this is a little extra detail. You say, "Oh, I'm being extra with it." That's fine. Usually with takeovers, they go to the credit and then they go right back, and then something happens. I was expecting that. That didn't happen here, so there's that. But overall, I thought this was probably the best takeover out of all the takeovers. But what's crazy is I guarantee you, come WrestleMania weekend, they're gonna do it again with another amazing takeover, and here we are again debating what was the best takeover and shit.
I think this one, it's going to be hard to top this one, man, because like 6 good matches back to back. Like you have a match of the year contender, your opening match. The tag team match was great. The a main event that we thought was good, but a majority is going to think is amazing / great. The women's street fight, which was good until the ending. Balor versus Johnny Gargano, which was good, and then the women's title match, which was a Triple H 3-star classic, where like, hey, let's just get our 3-star match and call it a day. Like this is such a hard card to top. Like it was just overall enjoyable from top to bottom.
And to think that tomorrow's Monday Night Raw. Holy crap! And then a couple weeks from now is Sweet Saudi Money.
Look with Seth Rollins, Steven. I haven't watched Raw in a minute. Someone sent me this disgusting image. Why is he looking like Dumb Blake? Why is he looking like that piece of shit?
Well, to be fair, Chase, and again, I said this in my Wrestle Kingdom review.
Oh God!
He grew on me. Granted, do I think he's still fuckboy Jay? Yeah, but as a
Steven, he made me stop watching New Japan. I was just like, I can't watch this guy anymore. I unsubscribed from New Japan.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, I can't with this guy. Like how heartbroken I was that Naito beat Okada. Like that was a heartbreaking experience. I get it. Naito's journey is complete. Kenta's the biggest heel in New Japan since Naito. But fuck this, man. Like I can't. Like then I see. Yeah, no, I can't. I know everyone's gonna say, "Oh, you're not a real fan," and you're right. You're right. I'm not sad that I missed Suzuki versus John Moxley. I think I'm fine without that in my life. I don't know what Okada's doing. Tanahashi.
Taichi. Well, to be fair, there's been rumors going around, and I said this on Around the Point last week. Apparently, Triple H is on a mission to sign Kazuchika Okada.
And I would be too. Like, if you're not trying to sign what is the pound for pound best wrestler on the planet Earth right now,
Orange Cassidy. No, I'm kidding.
He's a good gimmick. Orange Cassidy, that's a gimmick that I actually kind of like because they're not oversaturating him. Like, he just goes out there, gets his stupid pop, and then he leaves. Like, he's not like it's not like a dead joke that keeps getting beat into the ground. Where you're like, okay, we get it. It was funny. It was cool. He shows up whenever he wants. He does like at least something every once in a while. He does something new, and then afterwards, it's what's it called? It's
Put it to bed.
It's good. It's good. So, but yeah, when it comes to this, like Jay White, he's the worst thing in the realm of professional wrestling. I don't know why Seth Rollins is dressing like him. Like besides him, Humberto El Stupido needs to get off TV too. That guy just absolutely fucking sucks. But
his cousin's star though. His cousin's meant to be in novellas, if you will.
Well, dude, Steven, did you see the tag match? It's going to be my two-phase, Lashley and Garza. Like that's a tag team made for Chase Oliver. Like I wouldn't mind if they were tag team champions. But yeah,
they both got to wear the headbands. They both got to wear the headbands, right?
If they're both wearing the headbands, it's over, man. This is like, I think. Oh man, you got me happy about that. I was sad for a minute when Angel Garza lost the cruiserweight title because I was actually enjoying him, but at least it was to someone I liked. Like I liked actually all 4 guys in that match.
Yeah.
Where he lost the title. But at least it was to Devlin, so I'm like, oh, okay, I like that guy. He wrestles good. Like he's fine. Like he's fine for what he is. But I was sad because Garza just has so much personality. Like Steven, the promo where he proposes to his girl. I love that promo. And it's not even a good promo. It's just he just has charisma. Like Del Rio wishes that he had this guy's charisma. If Del Rio had this guy's charisma, Del Rio would still be in the company. He would be a major star. We'd be talking about Del Rio versus Roman Reigns right now, Steven, if this was the
Word.
case. Or Del Rio would be the one trying to battle his way against the Fiend. Or maybe Del Rio's the Monday Night Messiah. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
God,
But no, Del Rio has no charisma.
the
Angel
Monday.
Garza, this guy just has charisma. Like, I don't know how he does it, but this fool just has like this natural charisma where it's like anything this guy's doing, I watch it. And I'm
The
just like amazed
Monday
every
Night
time.
Messiah. I love it.
Yeah, Del Rio. Can you imagine Del Rio? I can see him coming out. This is my destiny on the Monday Night Messiah. But you already knew that. Was that his catchphrase?
My name is
But you,
Roberto Del Rio, but you already knew that. Yeah, that shit was funny as hell back then. But you already knew that.
yeah, I could see that now, dude. Instead of the Rollins theme song, Burn It Down, Del Rio comes out with the Christmas version of his theme song. And
Bam,
then he's
bam,
with
bam,
the,
bam, 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 bam,
yeah,
bam.
yeah,
With Ricardo
that,
Rodriguez.
oh, yeah, dude.
in
Like,
that
if we were
hoopty,
going to,
in that hoopty from
oh,
Rumble 11.
yeah, and in the bucket. We can't forget about the bucket that
Oh.
Ricardo Rodriguez was carrying for whatever reason. You remember?
Oh
Well, he had the bucket.
shit!
Why did he have a bucket? He just had a bucket. It wasn't until he was partnered with RVD when he actually used the bucket.
Word, fucking hell. Well, anyway, this was fun. It was awesome. An amazing takeover. This was fun, like I said. But guys, give us your thoughts in the comment threads. If not, let me know on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Chase, where can they check you out, bro?
Twitter at ChaseOliver68. Sometimes I do live streams on YouTube, so go check that out.
All right, yeah, head over to Chase Oliver 68 YouTube channel. You can follow Around the Point literally on Twitter again at HeelSteven. Use that hashtag ATPoint. Again, this podcast is available on all podcasting platforms. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. If you have these platforms, you can listen to Around the Point on the go. We're also available on the okfabe.com website. Thank you, Connor, for allowing my show to be on your website. Again, you guys can check out the Random Wrestling Podcast live every single Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time over at Fight.tv. Connor is going to be interviewing in a couple of days, or if he is already, I'm not even sure, but this week, to my understanding, in my opinion, the best interviewer right now in the entire YWC, if you will, that it being Chris Van Vliet.
I was gonna say. I thought you were like. I was gonna say. You guys better not be calling Alicia. I like Alicia too, but I was gonna say you better not be saying she's the best because that's CVV's title, man.
No, I said the best right now. You know, my opinion. I
I was
like her
hoping
too. I like her too. I like her too. I think they're both the best. But I think Chris has an upper hand a little bit in a way.
Oh yeah, CVV, man, like that dude. Like I sometimes like dude, like honestly, man, the best interview that he did was Austin Aries, dude. Just because like he was so like
they were smoking weed.
But most other fans would just be like, Aries, you're full of shit. Most other interviewers would challenge Aries. Chris Van Vliet, you could see he knew Aries was full of shit for most of his stuff, but he just sat there and he was like, you know what? What he's saying is such comedy gold, and what's so good about it. I'm just gonna sit here and just like ask him like he has certain questions to Aries. If you guys have not seen the Austin Aries Chris Van Vliet video, it's an hour. But put that hour to a side. Watch that hour. It's fucking hilarious how Aries is just like, and how Van Vliet like steers the questions, and he just lets Aries tell his story. Like, not once does he cut him off and be like, "Wait, hold up!" Like he literally lets him, and then he finishes up and follows up a question. Like, he really makes Aries seem like he's such a good guy. But oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. Great shit from Chris Van Vliet. Love that guy.
Yeah, too,
he's the king of the youth. He is definitely the king when it comes to interviewing people. I can't wait to hear that Connor interview, and shout out to Alicia Toot and Chris Van Vliet for doing this. You know,
exactly. Yeah,
they're both very busy. Like, you know, they're both very busy people. You know, they have their own lives, and I know Alicia Toot has been doing a lot of them. I don't know how much as CBB has done, but you know, I've seen her done a lot of videos, and she's been patient with a lot of people, and she's done a good job because like that's ultimate kindness right there for you to like just do a bunch of interviews and talk to people and maybe answer the same 8 or 5 questions that you probably have been asked like a bunch of times, and I just give her props that she decided to take her time and talk to people and really connect with her fan base and stuff. So shout out to her, and then shout out to CBD for doing it.
Exactly.
Shout out to OK Fave. If you guys are not listening to OK Fave, you're drunk. Like that's just
exactly.
like.
And I'm not just saying that too because again he is allowing my show to be on the site, but again he is arguably he doesn't get nearly enough credit.
I know he's like you know there's a lot of great content creators. He's one of them, and like he's one of those guys that I've been on his show before.
Yeah.
And stuff, and I can tell you he's one of the best when it comes down to it, and he needs more recognition for the work that he does.
Exactly, he does need more work, and again he's switching up on everything. He has now a studio. It's amazing where he was. Remember the old post-Raw rundowns, dude? Back in the day.
I'll be honest here. I didn't want to watch Raw at that time. My interest in wrestling was actually wavering, man. Like I was so done with this. But the post Raw rundown was fun. The one thing that got me back into watching wrestling, and honestly made me love doing YouTube videos again. Like I'll say this: most of my subscriber base, they're from the post Raw rundown. Like they remember me for the post Raw rundown.
Yeah.
And they came and followed because they were just like, hey, we like this guy's attitude and stuff like. Those were always the fun times, man. Like, exactly. I love the Raw rundown. That was the only reason why I would like, dude. I remember I would have work on Mondays, and I would call out if I was working during Raw. I was like, no, I got to do something. That's all I call out. And I'll just be like, well, screw it.
Then they sit you down. Hey, Chase, you've been calling a lot of days on Mondays now. So what's going on, Chase?
Yeah, no. And then I told them I don't want to work Monday nights, and then they stopped scheduling. So
there you go, fucking A.
That's a tip for all you people. If you guys want to work certain days, just especially here's a pro tip. If you've been at a place long enough, they're going to give you whatever you want. And I'm not saying everything, but they'll work with you if you can work with them.
Exactly.
Just request you want off, man. Yeah. Like for me, most of my jobs, they know what days I can't work, so they don't schedule me.
Facts, man. Anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. I am Steve. He is Chase Oliver 68, the AEW fanboy assassin himself. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been...
I'll be back on Steven's channel the week of Revolution. I don't know my schedule yet for Revolution. You know what, Steven? Let me check. Can I check that real quick so I can tell you if I'm going to be on for the Revolution review?
Sure.
Because this is important. Sure. Let me check the schedule real quick to see...
and who knows? Maybe Revolution will praise. We will rope. Who knows? You just never know. You know what I mean?
Dude.
So again, at the end of the day, we don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll be back. Me and Chase will be back for that.
All right. At the schedule, Steven. Let me tell you if I'm here for Revolution. And Steven.
Yes.
Steven.
Yes.
I become man. I become man. You are beautiful on the inside. I'll be here. Judas have I become. If you guys want the AEW fanboy assassin, you got him. Damn it.
There we go, guy. There we go.
Again. If I get the show, you best damn believe.
You'll be for the review.
Believe me. When I tell you, I'll be there.
You'll be there. Alrighty then. That being said, guys, we are out like Janet's titties. This has been Around the Point. Peace out, dorks. BHs, we got some